Hey there, in today's video I'm going to talk about my running shorts. Lined versus unlined, pros and cons, likes and dislikes, and at the end of the video I'm going to pick some of my favorites. I'm making this video because I've made several videos before about running shorts that have proven popular. I'll put some links at the end and also in the description. And in this particular video I'll show a couple of newer pairs of shorts that I've got, and at the end a selection of my favorites. Now, spoiler alert, I still haven't found the perfect pair of running shorts despite all my efforts, and it'd be great to hear some suggestions you have on perfect running shorts. Now, as always, this video might be long, so there are chapter markers down below so you can skip on through to the bits you might be interested in. Let's get going. I've got 22 pairs of lined shorts and 6 pairs of unlined shorts. That doesn't mean I'm happier with lined shorts or unlined shorts. It just really means I'm pretty happy with the unlined shorts that I have and the liners that go with them, but I'm still searching for my perfect pair of lined or 2-in-1 running shorts. To talk about some of the advantages of unlined shorts, and that you can have a separate inner and a separate outer liner. That gives you flexibility of materials. There's certain liner materials that touch my skin that I like and some that I don't, and you can choose to mix and match depending on materials. Another thing you can do is different lengths. So when the weather gets colder here, I might choose a longer inner. I've got various versions by Under Armour with different lengths, and I can pick those depending on the weather. Sometimes you might want to have an inner layer that has compression on them, and the outer layer, essentially it's a modesty layer and something for pockets. And again, depending on what you're doing, you can pick a different outer layer because you might want a lot of pockets because you're carrying a lot of things, or you might want almost no pockets. You might be running with a hydration jacket or hydration vest. Gives you a lot of flexibility. For me, a big thing about it is I can wear running trousers, sometimes waterproof, sometimes not, but I can go to work in running trousers with a liner on underneath, take the trousers off, stick on an outer layer of shorts and run home without leaving my liner behind lying around the office. Another advantage is one that I've been using more and more often as I've become more and more conscious of this, and effectively less washing. So you can wash the liner routinely, but you might wash the outer only every 3 or 4 runs, and in that way you save on a little bit of washing. The main advantage of lined shorts or 2-in-1 shorts is that there's just one garment, which means that all other things being equal, they would be lighter. There's simply one garment. There's a easier to put on, I guess, one and done, and they're possibly cheaper because of one garment, but essentially the main benefit is overall it can be lighter. Storage is the biggest issue for me with all running shorts. I run with an iPhone, a rather large one, so I can take photographs, but primarily for safety. I like to have it on hand just in case something goes wrong. I would use the Apple Watch if you could get SIM and cell coverage in Ireland, but you can't. So I always run with the iPhone, and it's a 15 Pro Max, so it's a big iPhone, and that gives me all sorts of carrying difficulties. My favorite liner, and I have lots of them, is by Under Armour for storing my iPhone in a pocket down the side. You can see it, it's very flexible, really fits nice high up the thigh. These ones have a hole in them. There's actually, most of them do. Although I have a lot of running shorts, a lot of running tights, all sorts of stuff, I don't throw anything out. I tend to wear them and wear them. These are really popular. They come in various different lengths, they come in different colors. I have a red pair that are slightly longer and for warmer weather. You can get ones for colder weather. You can get them in all sorts of lengths, in all sorts of colors, and Under Armour have regular sales. I also have another pair of on-running hybrid shorts. This is the inner lining, and they have a pocket either side. One will take an iPhone, one is a bit smaller for gel. It's actually a very good pair of shorts. I'm not sure if On Running do the hybrid shorts anymore. They were great for swimming, and then you have an outer layer and you have regular pockets and a zip in the back, and yeah, really good pair of shorts. But the Under Armour inner liner is overwhelming favorite with me. Lined shorts or 2-in-1s come in all sorts of ways of holding your iPhone. My favorite of these are Janji's 2-in-1 Traverse shorts. I don't think they make them anymore. I have lots of pairs of them. But again, just like the Under Armour, they have a slot down your thigh. I think it's on both sides. And that's where I like them most, where it's right against your thigh, doesn't move around very much. And the higher up, the better. A lot of times there's a rear slot but it's hard to get the phone in. You're twigging around with a zip, particularly if it's a larger phone with a case. It's usually a struggle and it can bounce up and down a lot. There's a system on the, these are Satisfies running. These are a pair I ran the Chicago Marathon. There'll be links in the description to all of these, but they have a slot down the back. So the phone goes vertically, but it's on one side of you. And I found when I got back at the end of now they were great shorts in the marathon, but at the end I had a little bit of chafing on my back front, and it's awkward for getting stuff in and out. And if, like me, you're making videos as you go along, that can be a bit of pain. They are great shorts. Another pair of shorts that are extremely comfortable to run in, but have an odd system. These are the Soar running trail shorts, and they have sort of pockets at the back, and you slide the phone in, but it can only go in one side. So it's on one side again, and it'll only take a small phone. Another system that a lot of people use, I'm not as big a fan as down the side, but it actually works. This is the Under Armour Speed Pockets, and they have a little slot in the front, and the phone goes in this little flap, and it is actually very secure in there, and it'll take phones of all sizes. What I most like in shorts is lightness. These are the Satisfy running 10-inch Justice cargo shorts. Great pair of shorts, the lightest combo I have, but it has great storage, but it's very far down the leg. There's two pockets either side, meshed and ventilated, with a little carbonaire for your keys. It fits really well, great, super comfortable shorts, but the pockets being low down don't suit me so much. You're always leaning over to pick stuff out of them, and I get a bit of chafing when they're lower down on the legs. A couple of my favorite shorts, again, the Janji Traverse shorts. These have pockets at the back. They're really good. There's two each side, and you can slot one of these in a 150ml Hydro Pack. I've run a couple of marathons that way. These are really good shorts. I don't think they make them anymore. They have a little loop here so you can attach a key, but again, you've got to hook it on. I prefer a zipped pocket. And then I suppose the other thing I really like in a pair of shorts, as well as lightness, is materials. These are the Soar Elite Speed Short 3. You need to wear a liner with these, but these are super lightweight and they feel wonderful. This sort of stretchy material against your thigh is, yeah, these are super comfortable to wear with a liner. Typically you would wear them with the Under Armour liner. A couple of the dislikes in shorts, these are the On Running waterproof shorts. These have a sort of clasp. You can hear that as I pull them open, and a bit of stretch for when you want to go to the toilet. But they're, I prefer just a drawstring that goes around the back and ties. Sometimes there's a limited drawstring, just pulls on the front. Sometimes you have, these are the On Running trail shorts, and they have one of these pull things. I have a couple of pairs of shorts with these. They work, but I never quite trust them, and I find them a bit fiddly, to be honest. The other thing in these shorts is they have a phone pocket up here, but it's not deep enough, certainly for mine, and my phone has bounced out a couple of times. I've run a marathon in these. Great shorts. Apart from that, I mentioned the low pockets on the Satisfy Justice 10-inch. Way down, I prefer them high up. This is the Soar Running Trail pair of shorts. These have all sorts of ways of putting things in, none of which I find useful. There's sort of gel loops on the front that also go in that you could slide gels in. Again, I never quite trust that. There's two deep pockets at the back, but that for me is an awkward thing to try and reach, but they do work. And then there's a zip in the back, but it only goes halfway through, so you can put in a small phone, but it's halfway across. Again, in all other aspects, these are great shorts. They feel fantastic. Again, they've got that lovely material against the legs, but I just don't use any of the carrying capacity of them. Another short that I find odd is the On Running 5-inch. This one is, it has this sort of fake modesty zip on the front. There isn't a zip, it's just, it just seems odd to me. They're nice and lightweight, but there's absolutely no zipped pocket. I think there is a little loop in at the back that you could flick your keys into, but you know, you're locking the door, then you got to go behind your back to do all that. So yeah, not a pair of shorts. Very comfortable to run in, not a pair of shorts I wear very often. To go through some of my favorites online, well, the first thing I already said, the Under Armour with the iPhone. That's my favorite liner. Probably 5 out of 7 runs I'm running this particular way, and yeah, I've got lots of pairs of these, probably buy a few more. Overwhelmingly, the most common pair of shorts I ever run in the combo is also with Path Project's Graves shorts. I really like these. They've got lots of pockets. There's pockets at the front and either side, zipped, which I really like. There's a pocket, central pocket at the back. I don't need that for the phone, but I can put house keys. There's also another little pocket down the front, and there's a sort of inner little pocket again for keys. These are great. I would wear these as often as possible. The pocket heaven. I really do like those shorts. Super comfortable, throw off a bit of rain. But if it was for a race where, again, my phone I was carrying in my thigh and I had other things elsewhere, I would use these Armour Elite Speeds Shorts 3. They're super comfortable. So I'm going to be running a marathon where I'm wearing a hydration vest, and these I'll have on. I've done that a couple of times before. These are supremely comfortable, and if they had a liner in them and a nice easy way of storing the phone, they'd be perfection. To go through some of my favorite lined shorts, I bought these recently in Brooklyn before the New York Marathon. These are the Bandit Super Beam Next Generation 7-inch pocket half tights. There are lots of storage options. There are 2 vertical pockets either side of the back that will take a sort of like a Cliff Blocks pack. There is the thigh phone slot on each side, so you can phone in one and some other gels or other things in the other. The only thing about these shorts is a zip pocket at the back. These are fantastic shorts, and they also come in quarter tights. There'll be links in the description to links. Sometimes these are sold out, but maybe the quarter tights aren't. The only disadvantage to have these is the material is a bit heavier than I would like. If this was made of the same material as the Satisfy Justice 10-inch, they'd be perfect. But these are a really good pair of shorts, super comfortable to run in. Really like these. The next pair of shorts, I really like these shorts, but I bought them kind of for fun. I bought them for the New York Marathon. They're the Otso. These are the black jeans. There's a blue jeans version and there's other versions as well. They're incredibly light. I mean, you can see they feel fantastic. There's a little liner inside, and this stretchy material is wonderful. There's only a couple of things I don't like. There's a sort of storage belt around, but there's a sort of horizontal slot that goes in, and I put some stuff in that in the New York Marathon. It bounced out. I lost some gels. I lost some hydration tablets. But there is a zipped pocket at the back, and it has one of those front pockets to put the iPhone in, and I don't really like, it's got a very strange drawstring. It's kind of like this ball on a thing in it. I mean, it works. it works, and I did buy them as a joke because they look like a pair of jeans as you're running along, but they're amazingly comfortable. They're quite light. They're not particularly expensive, and the odd thing is Otso, who are based in Spain, they nearly always have sales. There's, I don't know how many 30% sales off I had this summer, but there was a summer sale, there was an emoji sale, there was a triathlon sale, there was a Smurf sale, I think there was a Hello Kitty sale, there was a Yellow Day sale. They're on sale all the time at about 30% off. Sometimes it varies. The most important thing, and there'll be links in the description to all of these, most important things, if you buy a pair of these shorts, nearly all of my other pairs of shorts are medium. These are extra large. I think Otso must do a lot of triathlon stuff, because I also got something else from them, and they're for people of very small sizes. A medium is an extra large in triathlon manufacturers, I've found out. But yeah, they are a super pair of shorts. Wear them all the time. My favorite pair of shorts when I'm not carrying an iPhone, which is admittedly very rare, are these, the N Normal Trail shorts. They are supremely comfortable. They have storage around the edges, but there's no zips, and I always think everything can bounce out. Because they're trail shorts, they're designed by N Normal to be worn, I guess, when you're also wearing a hydration jacket, which I've also done a couple of times, and therefore you've got all sorts of zips and things for important things there. But if you want to run, they feel really fantastic. The material is superb in them. So yeah, if I was not carrying anything and I wanted a pair of shorts to run in, without question, these would be the ones, the N Normal trail running shorts. Much as I love the N Normal shorts, I would love a zipped compartment on them. I haven't found the perfect pair of shorts. Each year I think I'll find the perfect pair. I found the perfect material, the perfect storage, the perfect drawstring, but not in one pair of shorts. I know my likes and dislikes, and at some stage I might have to cobble these together and make a pair of my own. I hope you enjoyed the video, and found it useful. If you did, it would be great if you'd hit the like button. As always, there'll be lots of stuff in the description below, and I'll happily answer any questions you put into the comments. There'll be a big blue subscribe button popping up there, and some other videos there. Thanks for watching. Until the next video, just keep running along.